Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony,
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
and every week Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles that life throws our way because we have issues just like everyone else, right, Steven? Life's
Right.
hard.
Totes
Ugh,
do.
it's a mess, Steven. It's a mess sometimes. But we're doing our best to get our comic book done. We are on issue 3 of our supernatural superhero culty comedy comic called Deathless. We're getting really close to finishing this thing, and we're getting to the point where we have to start preparing this Kickstarter. And I want to launch it this month, Steven. I just want to launch it I just want to get it out into the world. I'm ready. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling good, man. Like in all actuality, I'm like pushing through on these last few pages, but then still juggling the other project.
Yeah.
And like, but we really are so close. Like I think I only have like three pages left. Like, and of those 3 pages, 2 are entirely rough. Because I'm pretty sure there's only one more page after the one I'm working on. Then there's the final splash page. So like I already have the final splash page roughed completely, and I have this page fully roughed. So I really just have one more whole page to do, like from scratch.
Yeah.
But these last 2 pages have just been tricky because I'm working with monkey bars, like going on like the 8th or 9th panel, and I just don't want it to be boring because I keep drawing monkey bars. And I keep wanting to draw dynamic angles, but that shit's so tricky with monkey bars and human bodies interacting. Like I'm just like, you get stuck. Yeah,
it's crazy. But no, I knew that was going to be the case. Steven, hang on. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a little distracted right now because I've had this on my brain for a while. And I need every once in a while this happens, or I'm like, hey, yeah, let's talk about our comic. Except for Steven, what I really want to do, because you know what this podcast really is us talking, and we haven't been able to talk.
It's 2 guys in a comic trench coat, and we want to drop that sucker and show you what we got hiding.
That's right. This is a strip show, and what we're gonna talk about right now is Steven. I've been thinking about Indian in the Cupboard. Do you remember that? Do you remember that book / movie? Do you remember that? Okay, Steven, I have a question I'm going to pose to you. Okay, we can do it. You know what? Let's do it as like a monster test situation. Let's just like do a quick monster test Indian Cupboard edition.
Every now and then you find an ancient cupboard in your hallway. Your parents tell them that they found it somewhere. I can't remember the plot of the movie, but it probably was a thrift store. Kiwanis. So then you bring the cupboard home and you find out when you put your little plastic army men inside that they come to life and start rat-a-tat-tatting everything in your house. We gotta bust out the pencil and the pen to take a test on the monsters that we brought in. It's the monster test.
Yes. Monster
90s Magic Edition.
So every once in a while we do a monster test, which is where we discuss like a popular trope or a popular thing in fiction, a narrative thing that exists, and I'm just like, I have to dissect it a little and understand how this works because it drives me crazy, Steven. And okay, so this is what I'm going to pose this to you. I'm going to ask the question. No, before I do this, I'm going to give a little context to people who might not understand what Indian Cupboard is. So, Indian Cupboard was a story about a little boy who had a cupboard of just a small cupboard, and he realized that when he put his toys into the cupboard and closed it and then opened it back up, they came to life. Not in the sense of Toy Story where they were plastic that was moving; they were actively human, or they came to life. They became the character, whatever it was. And then when you put them back in and locked it again, they were toys once more. So that's the plot of the story. You can go watch it. You can go read it, whatever. Steven, my question to you, I have to pose is, if I had this cupboard, if we had this cupboard, and we took it together and we're looking at this cupboard, right? And we take a Walking Dead zombie figure, okay? And we put it in the cupboard and we close it, we open it back up. Now it's alive, okay? If that zombie bites me, do I become a zombie?
Okay. So, how I would process this magic is it would mimic all the physical characteristics of said object, but not necessarily bring all the lore.
Okay.
With it.
Now, okay.
But I mean, if it's a fun movie, of course you'd become a zombie. But in real life, there are no zombies, but there are magic cupboards.
Okay.
So, is this where everything gets created? Is this like Pandora's box of monsters, basically? Did the cupboard create all of the monsters of humanity?
It could have. And here's the thing, Steven. If you remember the movie, there is a scene. Okay, like first of all, let's say like dipping our toe in the water of this, right? First of all, these aren't toys that exist in the way Toy Story does, where like they all know their toys. They're like, we're just toys. They have history as these characters. Like the Native American character is a Native American who knows traditional Native American dances and traditions and goes through them and burial rites. Like he has a whole history of himself and whatever his identity is in himself somehow when he comes to life, right? Which is like that's just dipping our toe in it, right? So it's like it does give some semblance of like life to whatever the actual character is in a way.
It's bringing, so I guess the rules of a zombie universe would be attached to a zombie action figure.
Okay, so I think so, and I'm gonna tell you, there's one major plot, like one scene that I feel like sells this argument is, dude, if you remember, it's such a cool scene. Okay, some kid, like one of the kids, puts RoboCop, Darth Vader, and a dinosaur in there, a T-Rex, and they all come to life. And Darth Vader has a working lightsaber, first of all. Okay, and then the cowboy and RoboCop both have working guns. Now, the toys themselves don't have shootable guns. They have plastic guns that are become fully fully functional when they're put in the thing. Darth Vader's lightsaber doesn't light up at all, but when he's put in the cupboard, suddenly he has a functioning lightsaber that also cuts through things. So it seems to
what this cupboard actually is this cupboard actually travels through the multiverse and pulls spiritual energy into things. Like it's like, and you know, that's basically, it's a multiversal like cabinet is what this thing is, right?
Yeah.
I also want to like I understand this is a monster test, but I just also love the two different kinds of nerds we are, because you're like you love horror movies, zombies and stuff. My first thought is I'm putting Pokemon figures in there, and I'm gonna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Oh, 100%. That would be incredible, dude. I mean, it would. Like, there are so many toys that I would love to put in there, and like,
there's so many Ninja Turtles,
right?
Power Rangers.
Even if you I'm just gonna ask. Okay, it's a dumb question. Just gonna ask.
Oh no,
I'm not going sex stuff.
I was thinking sex stuff. Like, would a severed penis just appear in there if you put like a dildo in there? Like,
I think it would have to, though. I think at that point,
would it be flaccid now that it's alive? That's the question.
That's true. If it's like,
it doesn't have a brain to dictate what it's attracted to. Maybe stimuli would erect it. I don't know. I don't know what the rule. What are the rules?
I don't know what the rule. Yeah, I don't know the rules of this cupboard, but I really want to know. What I was gonna ask though is if you put a toy hot dog in there, would it be edible, and how would it taste? You know what I mean? Like, would it be?
Ooh. What if you went like? I mean, yeah. Wait, can this feed everybody? Is this like an
yeah? Because
dude, think resourcefully. We can turn all of our garbage fills in plastics. We mold them into food and then put them in the cupboard, and then we eat them.
We eat them,
and then the plastic's gone, baby. It's biodegradable,
dude.
We just solved the crisis of pollution.
Okay. Oh my God, Steven. Okay. Second. Okay. I do want to get through the zombie question, but I just thought of something else because we brought up food, and every time I think of food, I think of Gremlins for some reason, because I think of eating Gremlins. Steven, if we wanted more plastic,
infinite food supply.
Yes. But Steven, could we take a Gremlins toy, put it in the cupboard, and when it comes to life, wet it, and then put them back in the cupboard and have a bunch of more plastic? Like,
just
could we?
I love how the Gremlin Infinite hack is just like as often as this cheat code can be applied to our reality, we're going to do it
100%. I will always go back to the Gremlin well. But dude, okay, hang on. Before we get too crazy and carried away, the zombie thing. Okay, my question though, my question. I imagine that like if you get bit by this thing, you would become a zombie, right? And like, or at least like it seems to track with the rest of the logic of this world. However, when you put that zombie back in the box and its functionality is no longer on the realm, like in the realm of realistic zombie, and is now in the realm of toy, what happens to the person that was bit? Does
the magic go away?
Does the magic go away? And here's the thing. Every time you make that zombie come to life, does that person become a zombie again? Do they have conditional zombieism? Like, it's...
True that. And is it like, like with werewolves and vampires, if you kill the one that made you, like if you destroy the cupboard, does all the magic that was ever cast by it, like?
Good question. I mean, bringing up vampires and werewolves, though, like it's similar to the zombie thing. If you got bit by a werewolf that was out of the cupboard, would you become a werewolf? Like I don't. Also, if that's the case, right? Werewolves and zombies don't exist in our world, right? But neither does RoboCop or Darth Vader, like in a physical way. They only exist as stories. So what this is suggesting is we could create anything, give it lore in our heads, and create it and put it in there.
Well, dude, that's what I was thinking about before we got on like all the other tangents. I was thinking like, man, you can start making some really like fucked up like Sid Toy Story concoctions. Yes! Like you can start building your own monsters, really. Rita Repulsa basically just had a cupboard. I mean, that's basically what
that's
she
basically
had.
what. She really did.
She sculpted monsters.
She had that guy who would craft all the toys essentially, and be like, make my monster grow. And he's like, I guess I'll put it in this cupboard and make it.
Screw bigger. The cupboard. We just need that guy. We just need to steal the mustache. Like,
good point.
Warriors of Virtue looking guy, whatever he was.
Dude. Okay. Last thing though with the cupboard. It would also mean that magic works, right? Like, okay, obviously the magic of the cupboard works, but if I put a toy of the genie from Aladdin in there, do I get wishes? And
I wish this cupboard was bigger. Make this cupboard bigger so I can put dude. That's the cheat code, bro.
That's the cheat code.
I need an industrial size cupboard.
Oh my god, dude! Just like. That's the cheat code to getting
start putting like Barbie mansions in it and stuff. Yes! And just like,
oh my god, dude, that'd be perfect. Like everything you ever need. The free
capitalism is just licking its chops right now. That cupboard you got there. You're about to get a SEAL Team hit squad after your ass, boy. Like, that's my cupboard now.
Oh, dude. But let us know what you think below about the cupboard. If you've seen the movie or read the books and you have any suggestions. Someone did suggest that you'd become a toy if the zombie bit you, or like you'd only become, or like I'm sorry. Or the zombies only can turn other toys into zombies. Some people said that. I was just like, I think that like what we just like went through makes more sense than that. But I do like those ideas. So like, if you have any suggestions,
I don't remember the movie that well. But did any of the things that came out of the cupboard injure anyone in the real world with their weaponry?
Yeah.
Because if they did,
yeah,
then the zombie bite would impact them.
Yeah,
like virus wise.
I'm trying to think if the little boy gets shot at some point, because I think he does. I think when the cowboy comes out and he's like getting crazy, I think the little boy ends up getting shot by one of the it's a bullet, but a pebble to him.
And then I guess also the zombie, it would matter depending on the lore, right? Because like in like Walking Dead, it's basically just if you die, you become a zombie, right? Yes. Is that how Walking Dead works?
Yeah, a lot of things.
So technically, it's not even really a virus. Like for example, in Resident Evil, it's a virus. People physically get bit. They actually don't succumb to the bite. They just the virus turns them into a zombie. Mm-hmm. But in some universes, it's just whenever somebody dies, they become a zombie. Like heart attack, you become a zombie when you wake up. Like that's just so the different rules would definitely have to apply. But I'd assume you meant like the virus like biting zombie, passing its.
Yeah. Although it would be really funny if like just because that thing now exists, the rules apply throughout all of our world. Like it has to as above so below situation.
Like some kid with a cupboard literally causes the zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Like Patient Zero came from a cupboard, okay? That's what happened.
That'd be amazing. All right, dude, but otherwise, we're mostly here to talk about our comic books and our issues and answer some questions. So let's talk just for a second. What'd you do this week? Like, what'd you actually get done?
So I got a page done of Bloodlust entirely. Right. I didn't send it to you yet, but I will send it to you. More boobs. There's lots of boobs. But, that page is done. And then I also got the entirety of the one page roughed, and then I just had to. I'm like starting to do inks on that of Deathless. So I think after Deathless, I'll have 2 more pages after this one, and then for Bloodlust, I think I have like 4 or 5 more pages. So
heck yeah, dude.
I gotta start putting some time down on Bloodlust. I think it's due in like 2 or 3 weeks, which I'll be able to do it though.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, I'm behind on the flats. So if you want to focus on Bloodlust at any point, you could do that. And because I'm gonna take.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think I just gotta like get this done so that way we can get it bubbled and sent to Chris, and then we don't have to worry about it. Then it's done,
dude. because like let me yeah because if you do that, I'm focusing on flats right now. But because even if I somehow finish the flats before,
You
when
still have lettering and
I still have
stuff. Yeah.
lettering, and that'll take me a few days, so that'll be good. Yeah, dude, like that'll be amazing. And like I love that we're getting this project out, and I'm ready to see what comes of Bloodlust. Like
Yeah.
I want to
I
see.
want to see too. I want to see how well it does. I trust Chris, but I also, this is out of his wheelhouse too, in sense of like his own IP and all that.
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll see how this all goes. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I accomplished this week. What did you accomplish this week, good sir?
so I got about half a new page colored. I really do like the like city page that like it. By the way, it is hard to color those dang pages sometimes. Like getting all those buildings and
There's a
stuff. So I ended up doing like some cool gradients and stuff, and like
mm-hmm,
like kind of like 90s style, like, oh, this is what the city looks like at night sort of stuff. Like I tried to do that with
mm-hmm.
like fun gradients and stuff, and I think it works. Like I think it's really good. I'll see once I'm like completely finished with the page, but like I like it so far. I think it's coming together.
Awesome.
Otherwise, dude, did you see how many people showed up for freaking Katie, like KT last week?
Yes.
Like,
I know. I was like, damn, I'm out of a job. Like
dude,
I just
nuts.
need to step
So,
aside.
well, like because of that, I talked to you a little bit about it, but I was like, we were like, hey, why don't we just make like a writing show, and then we can just have like a network of podcasts, and then we're all feeding, like,
Absolutely.
we're all supporting each other. So like one thing I did was I drew like a funny like little title thing, like a logo for us for our thing, because it's called Our Relationship with
Awesome.
Writing. So it's gonna be like a fun
No,
thing.
it's gonna be awesome. It gives you guys your own like other outlet for like different conversation, but
For sure, dude. And
it's
then like
awesome.
so we recorded one episode of that, and I'm like, but like what's cool about it is we're not doing like a week to week thing yet. We're like just recording them, and I'll do it like as we go. Like I'll eventually edit it. It's like,
Just drop episodes
yeah,
and
and we're gonna put episodes out eventually. But for now, it's like there's no stress on it, which is really nice. But yeah, I have to get like into the coloring. This is the week Atlas goes with his mom, so I'm gonna have like Thursday for sure, and then Friday I'm off work, so I'm gonna freaking nail like the heck out of that.
just
So yeah, I'm just gonna go.
boom, go for it.
And
Those
then
first few pages are really heavy anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, another thing we got to think about too for the Kickstarter is we have to get those people that want to appear in the comic in, because in the first couple pages I definitely left some like blank slate NPCs so that we
yes,
can like put people in. So yeah,
that's
we got to do that. So that's
that's
something
true,
we'll have.
dude. Yeah, so we do have. I mean, we have to. So we have to launch the comic before we technically finish the comic.
I mean, we'll finish it and then
Yeah,
like yeah, we'll just have it
we'll
and then
have that last bit. Yeah,
I'll
for
just
sure.
tighten up those pages, I guess, So
Yeah, it always works out. And honestly, I'm pretty sure we're the only ones. I mean, like not the only ones. Other people are probably doing it, but most people offer like to be in the comic in the next issue, and we're one
yeah,
of the few
we're
people.
like, hey, you want to be in this one?
This one we're working on it. You can do it. But yeah, I think it all works out, and like people seem to freaking love it every time. So yeah, we'll work on the Kickstarter very soon. I'm gonna start like this week. I'm gonna focus mostly on flats, and then I'll like add stuff to it and see what we can do, because I do want to get it up there. But yeah, I'm not gonna do it this week. We don't have like a set date, but I did want to get it out there this month. I thought that would be a good idea because
I think it's definitely feasible. Like I said, I'm gonna pump through Bloodlust now, but even if it's not a big deal, we'll still be able to finish the last few pages of Deathless,
yeah, for sure, dude.
this month.
Um, Otherwise, Steven, you know what? You missed out last week. So this week I let people ask us some questions. So people have questions for you and one for me, and we're gonna answer them. So you give me a sweet, sweet questions from the colony song.
The sweet cackle of the flame as the fire churns. It's begging for tales and stories, but it wants to learn. The fire's asking questions. The fire is you. So we need to ask these questions too. Our cult leaders who are true, because it's questions from the colony with Stephen and Anthony. We're gonna answer your motherfucking questions tonight in the fires of hearts. I don't know, something like that.
Steven, every time I hear that song, it just brings a tear to my soul. It's just my favorite thing. So, if you're joining us for the first time, hi, welcome. We're trying to build a colony here, and in doing so, we want to offer everyone the opportunity to ask us anything you want. We want to be as transparent as possible as we're creating this cult. I mean colony, and we want to give you the chance to ask us anything you can, so then we can answer questions and we all get to know each other. So make sure you ask us questions in the in the comments. You can also please subscribe to the channel; it really help us out. But for now, we have some questions from Twitter. Let's see. KT Carlisle, my girlfriend, asked Anthony.
That's me.
That's me. Okay. When writing, how do you decide on a character's voice? Do they speak to you in some way, or does it develop as you start crafting the story? I write myself. It's just me all the time. Just me. It's every character. It's just me.
Every one of my characters sounds like Admiral Akbar. That's right. Okay. They always insinuate that there's a trap around the corner, but I get through it.
That's fair. I mean, there are various ways that I create the character. Normally, I think of like who the character is personally, like what their personality is like and what their physicality is like. I met Billy West once. Billy West is like the voice of like a million characters in the world, like a lot of Futurama characters, and Doug Funny, but I met him once, right? And he said something really cool where I was asking him about like creating voices that were like iconic and not something that's just like another trope. Like, because when you think of like if I was like, Steven, let's make a mad scientist, like a billion people will do like similar things, but like as a mad scientist, he's like, good news, everyone, and it's like, okay, that's different, So he was talking about how like he thinks about like physicality first, where he was just like with Zoidberg, he has to have more of a muffled voice because he has those tendrils in front of his face. So of course he sounds like, oh no, this is what I am, so like, of
course.
So it's just kind of cool to think about stuff like that. So it's like, okay, if a character has a certain build in a certain way, like what would his voice sound like? But then in addition to that, I try to, base it on who they are and like how timid they would be or how brave they would be or whatever it is. And mostly it's just, is it me or is it Steven? Are they funny or are they scared? Like, that's pretty much what I do. But Steven, KT also asked you specifically, how do you how do you decide what a character is going to look like? Does this come from Anthony's direction, or do you get some creative freedom? And if the latter, what do you hone in on from what Anthony has written that makes you pick specific look?
So I feel like when it comes to faces, I have a hard time distinguishing different eyes, different noses, and like lips and things like that. I feel like a lot of my changes in character appearance definitely comes in their hair and their clothing. So I just really try to like change how different like each character's hair looks and how like their style to some extent looks, because I feel like that's how I'm most able to distinguish. Like if I really put M and Mary up against each other, like just inks, they would probably look pretty similar if I didn't draw the hair or the, like their bodies and their clothing. So like I have been like exploring more, but I just have like quick, like I do like this weird, like cartoonish style I've been doing with like the way I draw noses and eyes lately. So I've been like trying to lean into that. But yeah, Anthony also like typically he'll give me directions, like he'll give me like celebrity ideas and they're loose. Like he's like something like this person, like make this person kind of look somewhere in the realm of Rachel D. Cook, or make this person somewhere in the realm of this character, So like but like honestly, if I'm being real, most of our characters have always just been based off of us. Like even in like Scavengers and like the Absentees, Anthony was basically the main character of that. And then like Scavengers was basically that same character just zombified. So I mean, and then Play It Again was Anthony.
That's right.
And then
that's what
Deathless
I said.
Is me.
I write Steven and I, and that's just what I do. It's a perfect recipe for a good book. That's all it is. Steven, how many times have we seen ourselves in movies? We're like, Zoolander, like Wayne's
World. Anytime Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson are together in a movie, it's just like, story of our lives again.
That's right. But yeah, so I give you like a little bit of like direction, but most of the time it's like, as long as the character is there, it's, whatever you come
Mhm.
up with, and then we talk about it and stuff. And yeah, it usually works out.
But
Like,
like even like look at like my deathless characters, like M and Mary's styles and hairstyles are so different that that's where I lean into all the creative like all the details. Like M's hair is like like an asymmetrical pixie cut and it's blue, and her outfit's like this weird gothic like
yeah,
gown like corset looking thing, and Mary's like in a hoodie with like a low top with like shorts and fishnets on, so like, and Mary's got the pigtail, so like I definitely lean into the hairstyles and the clothing, like that's how I
yeah,
separate them.
yeah, and it works. All right, let me see. Levi was kind enough. Hi, Levi. Levi was
Hi,
kind enough
Levi.
to remind us that we accidentally missed our friend Amelia's questions last week. So Amelia
You mean a
Rose,
bad human?
5:30.
Well, I'm not a bad person. I wasn't here last week, so
And it's
please
me.
know that if I
I'm
was
a
here, it would
monster.
not have been answered either. I do nothing. I just come on. I just come along for the ride. So,
All right, let's see. Okay, so Amelia asked, you can drop Nick Cage into any horror movie. Which do you choose and why? What horror movie would you like to see Nick Cage in?
oh man, it doesn't. I'm just gonna say it because I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
it's very apparent. It's like the Uncanny X Force in the comic world for me. But the Lost Boys would just be hilarious, just like having him dropped like right into
Would he?
freaking.
Okay, would he play like a character that exists or a new character that's
I
Nick
want him
Cage?
as Max. I
Okay,
want
that's
him as
perfect.
Max.
I could see
Like
that
I
100%.
just I would love him as Max. I
I
think
mean,
that would work.
honestly, he right now,
Max is basically Nick Cage if you really think about that guy's acting style in that
yeah,
movie. So
yeah, I could see him play Max. That would be really funny. Horror
although
movie
him as David would be pretty funny too.
that would be.
Those are worms, Mike. Those those are worms you're eating.
All right, Nick Cage in a horror movie. What would be fun? I mean, I'm trying to think of like he's done vampire movies. He's done. Let me see. What would be really fun? You know what? Nick Cage. I mean, we are gonna watch Leprechaun this week, so like I'm thinking about that. But like, no, Nick Cage as the Wishmaster. Like, I want him
Ooh.
as the Wishmaster because it's like a spooky genie that's also cheesy as hell, overacts like crazy, like chews the scenery. It's like perfect for Nick Cage. Either that or Jeepers Creepers. Like, I want to see him as like a creature, like something like that. Like, I want to see a Nick Cage creature. I think that'd be funny.
I
But
mean, he was awesome in Renfield as like Dracula. Like he was
100,
actually pretty cool as
yeah,
Dracula. Like it was
100%. Yeah, dude. Oh, Amelia also asked, "What's on your concert bucket list, or have you crossed off? Or what have you crossed off of your concert bucket list?"
I think like a bucket list. Like I need to see this before I go. I want to definitely. I think it'd be really cool to see a true Coheed Neverender where they play every album start to finish over the course of like 5 nights. Um, and I think, man, because it's just so out of reach anymore.
Yeah,
But I think it'd be really cool to see Taylor Swift. Like I just
yeah,
tickets are way too crazy now. I mean, she's just way too huge, and like you would never get
hmm,
that earlier Taylor experience like before someone becomes this huge
yeah.
national act like you're never going to get like I think about that with Coheed already. Like I used to see Coheed at like Janice Live and like state like those small venues, and now it's like amphitheaters only, and it's just a different experience for Coheed sonically and
That's true.
everything else. But I do think those I think seeing someone like Taylor would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Most of the bands that we like, we can go see. There's not like a bucket list. Yeah, we can just
That's
just
fair.
pay
Like,
$20 and we can go see them. Like
yeah,
that's just
I would like to. I mean, the Never Ender is a good point. That would be amazing, dude. Like I
yeah.
would freaking love. Like that would be so much fun to go see them. Like every single album like that. That'd be amazing. Like it'd just be incredible. Like just I mean, going to
Mhm.
see them play only a handful of songs was incredible. So something like that would just be. Oh,
That'd be so cool if they got like a like was it called a Regency when or like what's it called when they're like at Vegas for like a year at a time? Like that'd be so
oh
cool if like yeah, if they ever got like to the point of like popularity, maybe with our generation getting older, like they get like that and they just play each album in order every night
that
throughout the
that
course of
would
the year. And
that'd
you
be
just
pretty
show
awesome.
up and just see them in
Oh,
Vegas. That'd be cool.
heck yeah, dude. We were actually just talking. KT was trying to convince me that Vegas is really fun, and some like awesome to go to, and we should go at some point.
It is fun, but it's definitely not. It's also not as impressive as the movies make it look, which
Yeah,
I mean,
like a
has to be
small,
expected. But
smaller, right? I mean, I imagine.
and everywhere I went, it smelled like cigarettes, like because
Oh,
they just smoke inside of the casinos. So yeah, it's
okay.
yeah.
Let me see. Oh, Charlie Max asks, you have a ring made by some asshat, and you need 9 superheroes to drop it in a volcano, but they can't fly or teleport. Who's going? I have the perfect answer for this. For me at least, dude. I don't need 9. I need 1, and it's Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde takes
That's
that.
it.
Kitty Pryde
She takes your hand and then runs.
She just grabs the ring and she just walks to the volcano, and anyone who tries to touch her can't. And they're just, she's just like, I will walk 500 miles, and just like that's it, and that's the whole movie. And then she just goes and she just throws the ring in, and then just walks.
And it's like, don't you want to try the ring on? What, so I can turn invisible? I can already become like, you mean like a weaker version of what I can do? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
It's also spooky and tries to haunt me. It makes me like an invisible vampire. No, thank you. I don't want to.
I seen what happened to Bilbo. We're not doing that.
No thanks. Hard pass.
All right, but let's say it's 9. So let's just say this.
Yeah.
Let's say Kitty Pryde's heart isn't pure enough to completely combat the rings. Okay. So who's your moral compass? Who's your Samwise? Who's the person that's going to hold the team down, like morally and in spirit?
Okay, well, he said no teleporting, because my first thought was Nightcrawler, but
yes,
let me think.
My teleportation no work Federation, so he's like, just like, I'll jog with you.
Well, you know what's funny? Okay,
I'm good with swords.
I was gonna say he's good with swords and fighting. He might just be a great answer anyway. Like he
yeah,
really good.
No teleporting, that's fine. I'm just gonna use my swords and my tail.
Who else? Who's like?
It's hard because a lot of the characters that have heart and soul can fly. So I mean, that's just like what it is. At those,
I'm gonna cheat a little.
Spider-Man would be good.
Spider-Man would be great, except for there aren't buildings, but he'd still be great. Like he doesn't need that.
I mean, like morally, he'd be great. With great power comes great. He gives that like Uncle Ben speech, like when they're like starting to second guess themselves on the 100%. Journey. Like,
dude,
I feel like Spider-Man does bring that moral support too.
My other thought was Thor. Because like I feel like Thor's gone through.
He doesn't technically fly. He definitely doesn't technically just throws his body.
And he has literal proof of his like moralistic value. Like his integrity is like the fact that he can lift this hammer, and it shows that he has his worth. So I think like he'd be really a good asset to that group.
Definitely be great to have on the team if shit went down. I mean, he's wiping the whole orc army on his own. He doesn't need to align with like an army of the dead or anything. He's just gonna
Oh yeah. Let me see.
Thor smash them all.
All right. Daily Downing asked, it's time to wake up Green Day, boys. What's your method? Because it's wake me up when September ends. All right. What's your method?
I would just download the sweet sounds of a car alarm going off in the morning and just play it through my Marshall tube amp and just wake them up in the most violent way possible. You slept through all of September and you want me to wake you up peacefully?
You know what?
Get the fuck up.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna decree shenanigans on Green Day. I don't think that they slept through September, because they said directly to us that I'm having trouble trying to sleep.
He's awake. He's lying.
He's lying. He
suffered from insomnia through the month of September. Let's just be kind to them, bring them a nice cup of coffee. We're not waking them up. We're just, trying to get them to keep living and moving.
All right, let's see. All right. Oh, Fowler asks, do you remember the 21st of September?
The 21st? Do you remember the 20th of September?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do.
How are you celebrating the first day of Halloween?
The first day of Halloween was celebrated by watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer with my 9-year-old daughter. Oh, dude.
So many sex things in that. So many sex things.
But it's fine. She's seen Lost Boys and stuff. There's
I know.
I mean, they have a whole montage sequence to the freaking
Deadpool and
that was Deadpool 1 is like that was the ones you're like, we gotta fast forward this one, Cambria. This is just too much. But bro, she just got hit with the Angelus bomb. Angel and Buffy finally hooked. So she is like, she's like, what's going, like, she's like, everything's Miss Calendar is still alive at the moment, but she's not gonna be for long because Angelus is gonna run some shit. But
Yes.
yeah, and then she found out Oz was a werewolf. So she's like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like she's loving it though. We're on I think season 2, right? I think it's all season 2.
Oh, that's freaking awesome,
We
dude.
actually just watched the episode where Cordelia breaks up with Xander. And
Uh-huh.
then Xander gets Amy to cast the spell on her to fall in love with him, but then the whole school all the
Yes.
women of Sunnydale fall in love with him. That episode's so funny, dude. Like it's
So
so
good.
great. The best part is when Angel has him, he's like gonna kill her, and then Drusilla's obsessed
Yeah.
with him too. And she's like,
Dude.
no,
Uh,
mommy's here, sweet pet. Like
I have to rewatch Buffy. I haven't rewatched
dude,
Buffy.
Drusilla is so great. Like
Uh-huh.
she like dude, like her performance is so awesome. Like yeah, it was a Juliet Landau or something like
Mhm.
that. She's awesome as Drusilla.
All right,
But
let's.
anyways,
All right.
well, oh yes,
Is there an
sorry.
age? No, you're good. Is there an age limit for trick or treating, or are we giving candy, or are we giving anyone that comes to the door some candy?
So my wife and I mean, especially if we have plenty of candy, we don't even hesitate. Like if you put the effort in, you're wearing a costume, like have some candy, bro.
Fair
Our
enough.
neighborhood isn't like crazy for trick or treaters, so like we usually have leftover candy anyway. So yeah, we definitely give the teenagers and adults candy when they come up.
Nice. All right. Are you dressing up this year? If so, what are you planning on dressing up as?
Ooh, probably, but our costumes are always like in the last like week or two before Halloween was like when we all decide. Because like I'll always suggest like a family theme thing, and then Tina will always pick like an
Yep.
off boy character and like messes up the whole idea. And it's like I don't even know what we
He's
want to do now.
amazing.
Like for example, I dressed up as Thor, and Tina went as Michael Scott when he burned his foot on the George Foreman grill. That's what she liked. She had like the wig, the
It was so
crutches. Like,
funny, though.
it was a great costume. It was
It
fantastic.
was.
But yes, I mean that's just the example of what I'm
I'm,
saying.
yeah, I'm with you, dude. I don't know I don't know what we're gonna be. Like Spirit Halloween just opened up next to my work, so we're gonna go and like just look at costumes, try to figure something out, and figure out what we're
Nice.
gonna do. Let me see. RM Hemrick, our friend RM Hemrick asked, favorite spooky book, comic, and movie.
Favorite spooky book, comic, and movie. Okay. Well, my favorite spooky book, because I don't read horror books, my favorite spooky book is going to be an R.L. Stein classic,
Good call.
Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Ooh, good.
Um,
Nice. Good job.
and then for my favorite spooky movie, well, we've already kind of said it's Lost Boys, but I guess if I want to, I like Scream. I like the first Scream a lot. I like what's another horror movie? I mean, I guess Gremlins counts. I like the
Yeah.
Gremlins movies. I like yeah, we'll say Lost Boys or Scream. I would say is my favorite spooky movie, and then my favorite spooky comic would have to be Destroy All Vampires feature. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
But
Stephen Moore is a survival man.
Marvel Zombies, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't read a lot of horror comics, but I
I
like
don't read a
Marvel
lot of
Zombies.
horror comics either, honestly. Like I've read some, like the Ice Cream Man and a few others, but like yeah, I don't read a lot. I should read more. I read the Lost Boys comic, which was not great, but also not terrible. Like it's
Ooh,
fun.
my favorite horror comic is actually Slowpokes. That's what I'm gonna
Nice.
say because
Oh,
because
good.
that is
Oh,
that is legitimately.
yeah,
I'm like I didn't Marvel Zombies was okay, but no, I genuinely enjoyed Slowpoke. So yes,
for
my
sure.
favorite horror comic is
Good answer.
absolutely Slowpokes by Steve Urana.
Good answer.
So
Oh, speaking of comics, so the person who asked that question, RM Hamrick, our friend, she's been on the show before. She's our friend. Like when we go to conventions, we see her sometimes. She has a Kickstarter that's live right now for her Atalan
ooh, we got to
Adventures
share
comic.
that shit.
Yeah. So like if you're out there right now and you want like a cool sci-fi fun space adventure comic, go support that. It's really cool. She's a great author and she's really fun, like nice and supportive and kind. So
She's
like
just a really sweet and kind person too. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
she really is. So like I'll put the link below. It's still live now. I think it has like the rest of this month or most of this month. Maybe we'll have her on the show to like talk about it a little bit. But for now,
Absolutely.
yeah, go check that out. It's Atalan Adventures. The link's below. Go support RM Hamrick and other indie comic creators, please. Let's see. Author Alexis Carroll asked, favorite candy to receive from trick or treating, Steven? What's your favorite candy?
Oh, dude, it's always going to be Reese's, Twix, or Kit Kat.
Yep,
Those
I'm
are
with,
that's
yeah.
the trio. That's the trio of like that's the Trinity. That's the candy Trinity.
So I always love Reese's. Like recently in my like adulthood, I've really liked Almond Joy for some reason. Like it's just like it's been like it's satisfying. I know, I
For
don't know why.
shame.
I know. I know, but you want to know something like a weird.
Actually, you know what? Every now and again, I'll because almond joys have coconut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is that what I'm thinking
yeah.
about?
That's the one. It's coconut. Yeah,
Every now and then I'll enjoy an almond joy, but
that's where I am too. Like, but it's like root beer for me. It's like a root beer thing. Like
mhm.
I don't choose it often, but when I do, I enjoy it.
Like, ooh, I haven't had something like this in a while.
Yeah, exactly. But like my favorite candies recently have been the peanut butter M&Ms. Like peanut butter M&Ms are like my favorite peanut butter snack now.
Tina's favorite M&Ms are peanut butter. My favorite is peanut. I actually just like the peanut
Those are
M&Ms,
good. Those are
but
classic.
the peanut butter M&Ms are absolutely I mean, anything with peanut butter,
Yeah,
be
dude,
it
for
with them.
sure.
So like,
Let me see. All the Spooky Gamer asked, I would like to know what inspired each of you to jump into being comic book creators. And that's our final question, Steven. Steven, what made you want to be a comic book creator?
um, I feel like, and this is going to ring true for both of us. I feel like Anthony and I just want to be able to tell stories. Like, I know when I was like 4 or 5, I wanted to be an animator. I'm actually very thankful that little Steven never followed through with that dream because it seems like animators have a really horrible, like, 90-hour work week, like grinding of a job. But like, I've always wanted to be able to tell story through my art. And I think that's why I landed on comics after all was said and done, is because I feel like it's the most efficient vessel to tell a story without having to have a whole team of people working on it, right? Like,
Yeah,
we can kind of just handle it. I mean, we could have a team, we could have a
right.
colorist, a letterer, and all that, but we can actually do a whole comic just you and me. And I
That's
think
right.
that's why we definitely like leaned heavily into comic, because it's just the easiest way to produce the images we're seeing in our head. You know, we
Yeah.
don't have the money for special effects, we don't have the time for animation, but comics, you know, we can set aside the time to like produce and we can actually tell a story. I think that's what it was. So,
Oh, dude, yeah, that's a perfect answer, 100%. Speaking of like making our comics, what are you gonna work on this week, dude?
so I'm gonna like I'm gonna let I still want to work on Deathless a little bit, but I'm definitely gonna push heavily on Bloodlust. I need to start like
Okay.
I want to try now like 2 or 3 pages of Bloodlust. So like
Nice. Yeah.
that's I gotta try to get like this wrapped up. So
All right, cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm gonna do my best to
next couple pages won't be too bad either. They're pretty. It's all
yeah.
like it's like the village attack
Oh,
scene
yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah. That should
is
be
where I'm
cool.
kind of at now.
I'm going to try to color 2 pages. I'm going to flat 2 pages, and I'm going to get a little bit of work on the Kickstarter done and see, and like we'll like just try to figure out what our like what our tiers are going to be for this, because I think they're pretty standard, like what they were last time. I think we nailed it, and like we've been doing a pretty good job at it. So it's just like kind of a adapting that and like doing what we can. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for contributing to our conversations and asking us questions. Thank you for showing up last week and showing up this week. Mints far know that we freaking love you. Please make sure you share our show all around the world, but also just know that we're thankful for you and we're so glad that you're a part of our colony. And we wouldn't be here without you. We freaking adore you. Stephen, what would you like to say to the people?
Sorry that I missed you all last week, but you know, Anthony and KT did a fantastic job holding down the fort. So I appreciate each and every one of you not only tuning in, but like obviously showing that you just prefer me to be gone, but I still
Don't
love
you
you anyway.
dare. Don't
I
you
still love you all anyway. But no, thank you all so much for just supporting us and loving on us each and every week. We literally we feel the responsibility to do this every week for you, to just continue to exist in this realm for you. Like we want to be creators, and we're just thankful for you for supporting us.
Yeah,
So
100%. Thank you all. We really do appreciate you. I'm Anthony,
I am Stevie Wildcard.
and we have issues. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Oh, you didn't have this last week, did you, ladies and gentlemen?
What about you? You have anything you want to talk about this week aside from like the general sad stuff?
We don't have to talk about that. I'm just. Oh, I did still finish a page of Bloodlust and a half a page,
Almost spit.
a half a page
I
of Final Links with
almost did a
Deathless.
spit take. We don't have to talk about that. I almost did.
We also we don't need to bring, we don't need to bring up sad boy hours. I was just letting you know as a friend, but
No,
everyone else needs to. Anthony, everyone else. That's all that needs to happen.